Well, hey guys, it's Destry. Welcome back to my Oregon yard. Today we're doing a greenhouse project having to do with some of my houseplant propagation. So if you're anything like me, I'm a houseplant parent and I can't help but sometimes want to cut and propagate some of my houseplants. But then I end up in this sort of situation where I have all these propagations that need to be planted up. So today we're going to be planting them up and putting them for sale on the flower stand. So let me know in the comments if you love houseplants. I love to garden and of course do my outside plants and my cut flowers, but I also love houseplants, especially in the fall and winter time. I am a houseplant person. And it never fails that eventually, sometimes your houseplants need trimmed, sometimes branches will, I don't know, break off, or sometimes you just want to cut a few and propagate them. And then I sort of end up in this situation where I have all these glass jars and containers just filled with all these propagations that are fully rooted, and there they sit, right? So today I am tackling all of these propagations that have just been hanging out, taking up space. I'm going to get them potted up and put them out on the flower stand for sale. So I do wish I was better at knowing the names of every single plant that I have. I might have to do a little bit of research. I'm going to try my best to take you through the propagations and the names that I can know and remember. Most of these are pretty common houseplants and ones that are easy to propagate. So let me show you all my props and show you the plant pots I'm going to be potting them up in. And then I'm just going to get going on this project today. So the first one I have is a philodendron. This one is so pretty. The leaves are really variegated. So you can see there's one leaf there that has it's almost like half and half. When the leaves emerge, they are a little bit yellow, so that can freak people out, but I love these, you guys. I have a couple other philodendrons. In fact, maybe I'll take the camera inside and show you some of my more mature houseplants, but I have propagated this philodendron many times, and it's a really easy one to propagate. I don't know if you can kind of see there's lots of roots in there. So basically you just want to cut it off at a node and then propagate it in a little glass jar like this is perfect. So this is one I'm going to be planting up in some dirt today. Let's see, another one I have is just a regular pathos or a pothos. Some people pronounce it. I usually say a pathos. And then I have a variegated spider plant. So these are both in the same little jar here, but you can see they're fully rooted and ready to plant up in some dirt. So I'm going to be doing those today. And then in here, I do have another sort of pathos that is kind of a variegated variety. And again, I don't know the names of all of them in particular, but this one was really pretty. So I might actually keep this particular one because I only have one plant that has that variegation, and I did propagate this one to keep so that I could make more of that one. But the rest of these pathos or pothos are just ones that, are easy to grow, and I have tons of them, so I definitely don't need to keep all these. So I will be putting those out on the flower stand. And then another one that's really easy to propagate, you guys, are Christmas cactus. So here you can see the Christmas cactus, or sometimes they're Thanksgiving or Easter cactus, but any of the ones that are kind of like this, and they do bloom usually in the fall or winter. Just tuck them in some water, and you can see that one's fully rooted in and ready to plant up. Nice thing about any of these propagations, when you are planting them, I would recommend, see how this one has at least 3 arms. So you want to maybe not put one arm in a pot. You want it to have, multiple kind of areas, or I guess branches, to pot up. I do love this little propagation station. I have a couple like this. This one's actually designed to hang on the wall. It has hooks, but I just set it on the counter. These little test tubes are really handy for propagating. So this one, again, you can see how much room this is going to free up if I can get these planted up and out of here. But this one, I've gotten this one. I think I have another one I got just on Amazon, and they do work really well for propagating. Right, so another one I have for propagating, I believe this one's called a silver pathos, and it has kind of these a little bit more, I don't know what the word would be, kind of a rubbery feeling leaf, and then this kind of silvery foliage to it. Again, this is one I've propagated many, many, many times, but you can see I will take several branches here to make one nice size plant. These are all rooted up. These have been soaking in water for quite a while. When you cut them, you do want to cut them at a node. So like that's a little node right there, that little bump. And you want to make sure you have one of the nodes down in the water. But you can see this would probably make, for the size plants I'm making, I might be able to divide this into two. But this is one of those silver pathos. It's really pretty and really easy to grow. And then I have about 3 jars of just spider plants. I mean, spider plants are, they're kind of basic, you know, but I really do like this particular one. It's a variegated leaf, so it has like that white stripe to it. And then I just have some regular green ones. So I have some of these on the flower stand for $5. I already have some out there and that haven't sold yet, but I probably will just pot these up. I might put these in a little cuter of a pot. Maybe I'll put them in a terracotta pot. But again, you would want to have, you know, a grouping of them to go ahead and start up. But look at all the roots on this guy. A couple other ones. This is another one of the Christmas cactus, and I just realized it is dry, which is another reason I need to get this project going, because I keep forgetting to change the water. So that's one thing that's important when you're doing propagation. You want to change the water probably every week, if not more often. So what works really well, if you can, like put these by your kitchen sink or something, or bathroom sink, somewhere where you're going to remember to like dump the old water and refill. And this one got totally bone dry. I'm hoping it hasn't been dry for too long. I think it'll be okay if I go ahead and get it planted up today, but this is another one of the Christmas cactus. Another vining plant that's really easy. This one is, I believe, called a Swiss cheese plant, or a what is it, you guys? It's kind of like a pathos, but it has these little holes in it. Here's one. It does get that sort of, I don't know, mutation or whatever, where it has the little holes. I think it's called a Swiss cheese pathos, something like that. Anyway, this is one I've propagated lots of times, and it does make for a really pretty houseplant. The thing about some of these vining houseplants too is that they do take low light, which is really great. And then the last one I have to plant up today is this one. This one is a Tradescantia, I believe. It's this really pretty purple one, and this is another one I might keep, just because I don't have very many of these yet, but super easy to propagate. Again, just cutting off a few branches, putting them in water, and really easy to propagate Tradescantia, but I definitely love this particular one. It's got these really pretty purpley leaves and really easy to grow plant. Low light has been really good, so I might keep this one. Guys, well, I think that's all my props, so I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera around, and I am just going to be potting these up. Let me show you the pots. I just got these on Amazon. I do, you know, if I'm going to be putting them on the flower stand, I want them to kind of have a uniform look and be a little bit nicer than just like reusing nursery pots. So, but they are just like a plastic pot, but I think they're kind of cute. Some of them are a little dirty because I actually did use them for my seedlings this spring, so I might wipe them off a little bit, but I'm just going to be planting them in here, and then I'm going to put them on the flower stand for $5. We'll see. I'll share the love and see if any plant lovers in my neighborhood, any houseplant lovers, want to buy any of these. All right, friends, well, here are all the propagations. So let me go ahead and show you what I was able to grab. So I got the Tradescantia, I've got the neon pathos, the variegated pathos, and then these two guys, which have these really long tendrils. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to display them. In fact, I might thread them up on a trellis or something, I'm not sure. And then I've got 3 of the regular pothos and 2, 4, 6, 8 spider plants. Oh, so many spider plants, and I still have more of those on the flower stand currently. I got 3 of these, which are so pretty. I love those. One of these, and I've got 2, 4, 6 of the Christmas cactus. So yeah, I've got a pretty good haul here of propagation. So that's what, a tray, almost a whole tray and a half maybe, plus a few I'm going to keep. And then beyond that is these are just some zinnias that I need to get in the ground somewhere and just have it. And then my garlic is all drying here. More zinnias here, and my heirloom mums. I've got this plant I need to still get in the ground too, this Oregon Sunshine, and more of my mums and zinnias over here. So anyway, yeah, I was able to get a lot of houseplants out of this project. So yeah, I was able to get, you know, a lot of houseplants out of doing this propagation project. So again, this is a great way if you were thinking about, you know, sharing them with friends and family, gifting them or whatever, or maybe you have an event coming up where you need like some simple centerpieces or something. You know, propagating plants is fun, and it can, you know, give you a good bang for your buck. So thanks so much for hanging out with me in the greenhouse today, guys. I hope that watching this video gave you some inspiration to maybe propagate some of your houseplants, start a houseplant collection, or maybe just give those established houseplants you have a good haircut. So don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. If you need me, I'll be doing some gardening. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.